Welcome to a very autumnal looking Willow Park Fishery, and it's time for the next versus.
It is, it's been a very long time. And actually I looked, when we got into the car park, the last versus between us two went up just over 6 months ago from 𝘃𝗶𝗀𝗲.
That's a long time ago.
It is. Is your head back in the game now?
No, mine went. It's gone, it's never come back, so head's gone from the start.
So this series, I started off me against 𝘁𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗲. I held up CARPology's own and I won it for us. So how'd you do with the
To be fair, I didn't lose it for us.
But you didn't
It's
catch.
the first draw that we've ever had in a versus match, because me and Ben both blanked when we went to Brasenose. He did catch, he stayed on for a second night and then had something, but that doesn't count, it's not within the 24 hours.
Well,
so,
there we go.
I feel like this is very much kind of a judgment match between us. I know you might have won the last series, but I started pulling back, and the last one in the previous series, I did win.
You did, but it's a little bit too little too late.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
So this series, as we just said, has been against other people, but this one is back to how it always was, me against Luke.
Number 3, yeah.
And like I said, we're at Willow Park Fishery on the top lake, or big lake, I'm not sure what it's called, and there's a few people on, which has kind of forced us to where we've put our kit at the moment, but we've still got to do the trusty lens flip.
We have, and we have seen fish in this area.
Both swims as
well. So yeah, we have been forced over this way, but hopefully the fish have as well. And there are fish in both swims. We've seen probably more in one than the other.
Yeah, but we've also spoken to 4 anglers that have just left after doing a couple of nights. One couple, they had single common between them on last night, and the other people were here for 3 nights and had nothing. So that bodes well for the session.
Excuses out there from the start.
There we go, yeah.
So let's go for it. Let's go for the lens.
Are you going to call it? Oh, actually, before we do lens flip,
I've no idea what he's batting. Oh wow, wow. He thought he'd up the game a little. Where did you get them from?
It doesn't matter where I got them from. Probably the same place you got yours from, which you haven't got on at the moment. But
no.
Yeah.
Right, hang on. It's no good flipping it. What are we doing? Who's calling?
You're cool.
I'm calling. So what? Top up, top down.
Yeah, you got a cool one. You can't call both.
No, I'm just deciding. I'm
Hurry
going
up.
Top up.
Oh God! You still haven't won one.
I won one, and then I won the match.
You did.
So yeah, okay. So Curly's won. If you want to skip to the end and see that Curly's won, feel free. What one are you going for?
I'm going to choose the left-hander.
Good.
Peg 24. You wanted 25.
Yeah, because when you were setting up that camera, I actually saw a few more showing in that one.
Great.
So I wanted to.
I told you about every show I saw was like, oh, there's another one. But you kept them quiet.
You know.
I feel like an idiot now. Sorted.
Good timing, isn't it? So the match has begun.
It has indeed.
And we've done it a little bit differently this time, because we didn't want to bore you with Curly talking about solid bags again.
I didn't tell him I was using a solid yet.
Oh God, have I given it away?
Yeah, I am using a solid bag on 2 of them actually. One of them is a 3-bait stringer with a really simple hair rig type thing with a bit of tubing on the shank. Why have you got the milk in already?
Because you let it brew with the milk and the water.
Don't.
You do, because otherwise it goes all scummy on top.
I'm genuinely peed off. Look at the colour of that.
People aren't watching to find out about making cups of tea.
If you can, I was going to try and pour
That's
it.
not going to
show
work,
the colour of it.
It's going to be that colour for now, but then once we've let it brew. Anyway, your tactics.
Yes.
3-bait stringer.
And solid bag. So I've actually got 2 different spots going. Well, I say got them going. I've not put any bait out,
they're
but
not going.
the left-hand rod is quite a bit shorter. 14.5 wraps I found was a really nice clear area where the fish were rolling. They've been showing quite close in actually.
They have
since
been.
we got it. And the other 2 are at 20 wraps, which is the very furthest I can go in this swim. I don't normally go the furthest you can go in a swim, but as I can go up to 20 wraps in this swim towards the bay opposite, I thought I'd do that with a lens around. As soon as I'd done it, it was very clear. There's a clear gravel patch out there. And as I came back to probably 19, 18, it got siltier again. So it was clearest at 20 wraps. That's why I'm fishing on the right and middle rod.
And there are fish at that sort of range, aren't there?
Yeah, there are been fish showing around there.
In terms of my swim, the maximum you can fish is 18 wraps, which is where I clipped up originally. And it
then
felt
you fish
okay.
3 swims to the right.
I'm not fishing to the right.
Oh,
if you look from here, it's going just kind of...
I forgot I had them on.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice them. It's going just very slightly right of my swim, but it's like a double swim and it opens to... I'm fishing within my swim. So
I bet if we had a look at the lake map, you're not.
I am. So I'm fishing, I've brought it back a little bit because 18 felt a little bit chilly, it didn't feel quite right. Bringing it back to about 15 felt about spot on. So it's yeah, nice and gravelly, and then it pulls into a bit of a silty gully just this side of the 15 wraps. So I'm actually fishing all 3 on a spot. No solid bags, just a lead clip. It's not too bad, is it? Lead clip and little 𝘃𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗲 wafters. So really nice, like cork ball wafters, or cork dust wafters, should I say. So that is my plan of attack. I've put a tiny bit of bait out. I've put 3 spoms out over the spot with all 3 rods on. And the reason for that is I don't want to go heavy on bait before actually knowing that they're going to feed there. So the last thing I want to do is put...
Look at that bubbling coming up there, sorry.
Yeah, there's fish about. But yeah, the last thing I want to do is put loads of bait in and then find out that they're fizzing 20 yards to the left.
What,
so,
in your actual swim?
In my actual swim. So yeah, very much looking for that first bite at the moment. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at, really, isn't
and
it?
I've not put any extra bait out other than my actual rig, so...
Apart from the solid bag that
apart from the solid bag that cracked off, yeah, frapped up and cracked off. Great.
Did you snap off?
I did.
Oh dear.
What did it catch on?
Puts his rods out first and he can't even put them out.
What on earth happened there? It's not even the knot that went. I don't even know what happened there. And I was only saying to the guy I was filming last week that I can count on one hand in all the years of my fishing how many times I've cracked off. And I've done it on the first cast or the second cast of this trip. So that's frustrating. But they are now, all 3 are out properly. So the 3 bait stringer, that is it. So it's 4 boilies, and then one of them's on my hook, of course, and that's it. The solid bags, they're a little mouthful of food, and it's just putting them into areas where the fish have been showing. If I can't get a bite, happy days. If not, might move them around, or not sort of honed in onto one area because I put bait there.
But are you going to plan on putting bait out if you start having
if I have a
fish
or two, yeah, then I'll probably put a few spods out just to try and keep them there. I was here last week filming as well, and they were very showy, so they tend to be quite obvious where they are. I did blank last week.
but you were already here for a day, weren't you?
Yeah, and I was just filming and just pub chucking some rods out in my swim. But
yeah,
that being said, they were very active. So
which they have been this morning. We've seen a lot of fish showing in the area that we are, and then we put rods out and now no fish are showing. But I'm still confident that... You good? It's a bit warm.
That's proper purple tongue. Carry on.
So yeah, the fish are definitely about, and I'm sure they will come and visit as well. So normal rules apply to the match, 24 hours from, well, it was 12, wasn't it?
It was.
12 till 12. Are we going to stay on longer than 24 hours?
We're going to do 26 hours. Shock horror. Because we
got what if things turn in the last 2 hours and someone takes
we've both agreed to it already.
Changing parameters. So yeah,
we both agreed to them at the start.
We did agree to it, so we're going to fish till 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon because time allows. So I'm not sure if that last 2 hours will make it any difference.
We'll see. It could be
whatsoever. Dead. But, yeah, we'll just see how the course of the session goes, really. But something you might have noticed, it's a very nice mug you have there, Joe.
It is a very nice mug.
And the cup as well.
What a lovely stove you've got there.
Thanks, Joe. Would you like a stove like this?
I would. Have you got another stove?
I've got another one. Now this is actually a little bit different to that one. It packs up even smaller.
It does. Now, as you know, this series is brought to you by Prologic, and in each session we have a spotlight product. At the moment, it is cookware and stove stuff.
Blackfire cookware, which we have genuinely actually been quite impressed by.
They look very smart.
They do look very smart indeed. So we've got the Inspire stove, another stove.
You mean you didn't remember the names?
I'm not very good with names. We've got 2 of the mugs, we've got 2 kettles, so there is a big boy, which is a 1.9 litre version.
So if you really need a big coffee in the morning, or you're very social, then that's probably the kettle
Yeah,
to
it's
go
more
for.
more the big coffee for me.
Huge, isn't it?
It is, yeah, 1.9 litres, so that's a lot of coffee. And then you've got your standard size kettle as well. And there's also a little cookware set. So you've got...
They've only set one plate, so you're dining nice
yeah, this
tonight.
is for me, yeah.
Right.
You know, I had the delivery, so I claimed all that I
I'm
wanted.
just eating out of my pan
So-
that I cooked with then.
So yeah, nice kind of detailed plate.
They're all
And
engraved.
then-
Is it laser etched, do you think?
I think it must be, yeah.
They're all
Yeah,
got the
so they're
same
all
Carp
nice
decals.
engraving, and they're all made from a decent, nice metal, which is, that's not bending, which is quite nice. So you get a knife, fork and spoon,
that
and then
a roll?
a little teaspoon as well. What's going on?
I thought I heard a fish as the swan taking off.
Oh, okay.
Heard a command.
So yeah, really nice products. We'll keep you updated on these throughout the course of the session. I mean, there's not much to update you with a plate, but in terms of the kettles and how the stoves perform, because so far boiling that kettle,
it was insane.
it's a bit of a
turned around
beast,
like a
isn't it? Should we do
jacuzzi
it?
was going off.
should we go for it? I mean, that's
Pretty
pretty
intense flame.
powerful, isn't it?
So if you want to boil your kettle like that, which you did a minute ago, we turned around after setting cameras up and that was
It
just
was
bubbling
like-
away. The lid was almost coming off.
Which I might even have the footage to put that in, but I mean, I don't know how much water's left in it, but that's pretty rapid.
Yeah.
Pretty rapid. So we'll find out prices and we'll let you know prices and everything a little bit later in the video, but
They
Well,
just
it's
look
a-
nice more than anything. They're really smart looking
yeah,
mugs.
yeah,
And
they
the-
do.
Sort of the rope with the
Like the
small
cord,
rope,
isn't
the
it?
cord around the outside means that even if your mug gets really hot, that's nice to grip onto.
Yeah,
The
so you don't
contents is
burn
kept
your
nice
hand,
and
just your
warm
mouth.
because just burn your mouth. In natural, the outside isn't hot,
No, it's not, is it? No.
but the inside
really not.
clearly is still keeping it warm. Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Quite
Anyway, I
impressive.
think that's long enough about a mug. Hopefully we'll be interrupted by a fish very soon.
So bait wise, I'm using a combination of a couple of different flavoured boilies and some tiny pellets. So what I've got in here is Baitworks Cremino and Atlantic Heat boilies, both in 15mm, both very different flavours, but they've both got a slight spice to them. And then I've just got some tiny 2mm pellet. To be honest, it was leftover pellet. I can't even remember what flavour it is or anything, but the idea being you've got some whole boilies, so kind of bigger food items to try and get the carp picking about, but there's also bits and pieces to hold them there as well. Now, what I've actually done with these boilies, you might see that they're kind of covered in some sort of powder, and this is the Baitworks 𝘃𝗵𝗶𝗀 or screamer, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's like a little powder that once you put some oil with the bait, it will actually stick to the baits and then break down. So again, with them tiny pellets, it's going to give all sorts of food signals. So in terms of oil, I've used the hot fish oil, again a nice spicy kind of liquid, but I'm purely using that to bind that 𝘃𝗵𝗶𝗀 powder to the actual baits. Like I say, I'm using a couple of different flavours as well, so some fish do seem to prefer sweet, some do seem to prefer a bit more fishy and that sort of thing. So by using the two different flavours, it covers for kind of all bases really. And then hook bait wise, I'm using the Cremino wafters, touched upon earlier. They're like a cork dust wafter, and then that sits really nicely over a little blowback rig. I'm trying to just simplify things really. I don't want rigs with too many components, so a blowback is something I used extensively in the past, and it always done all right. So I don't know why I went away from it. So I've gone back to it really, back to basics, and then all I'm doing is just giving it a quick dip in the Cremino bait soak, which is a really thick liquid. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, really thick and stodgy. So that holds onto the bait quite nicely, and again, that's just going to break down over time and kind of give off attraction to the swim. So pretty simple, not too many components, and I'm just topping up as and when I can really, or every few hours, just putting a few more spoms out, just trying to build up that area. So I'm going to get a few more out now and try and provoke a bite. So it's actually been a really slow start to the match. It's just gone 3 o'clock now, so rods have been out for about 3 hours and not a lot has happened. We're still seeing the odd fish, but they're not here in the numbers that they were. So my reason for only putting 3 spoms out first thing earlier was to try and capitalise and try and get a quick bite, and that hasn't happened. So I always wanted to put out a bit more bait for when it came into the evening, but I'm thinking as we haven't seen a lot now, then I might as well get it out now and kind of sit on it for the night. It's a bit of a risk, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. There's a lot of people that have turned up as well today during the day. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 people on the opposite bank that weren't here when we first got here. So there's been a lot of leads crashing about, a lot of activity on the far side, which could work in our favour, could bring them over here. So yeah, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that people are setting up and crashing about to get some bait out. So hopefully later on the swim will be a lot more rested and hopefully a chance of a bite. So I think I'm going to put out about 10 spoms and get a little bit out there. Like I say, I've got all 3 rods on the same spot, so it's simply a case of just putting 10 spoms out, 15 wraps, and then sitting and hopefully waiting for them to do something. Hopefully. Well, how's it going in your swim?
I thought that was me summing up the session so far.
Yeah.
We've done everything right. I feel like we're fishing properly. Got the rods out, had a brew. You put some bait out, we had a brew. Like, we're sort of eking out the time, thinking surely something's going to happen soon. And just looking around the lake, I know it's so cliche, when you're going slow for you, you go by what everyone else is doing, but no one is caught.
No, they haven't, which is a good sign really, because that means that we're not doing anything horrendously wrong.
Yeah.
I'd like to think.
Yeah, I think we're fishing efficiently.
We're not doing anything horrendously right, which is why we're not catching. But I don't think we're doing anything too wrong, because it's not, like you say, it's not like everyone else is catching and then we're sitting here with nothing happening. The shows have died down completely everywhere, not just in our swim.
They were very obvious when we got here. They were showing close, showing far. So that's why we put the rods pretty much where we have, because that's where they were showing. Since then, it's not just like they've stopped showing where we are, because they were showing all over the lake in different bays and stuff, just nowhere. So it's gone very, very quiet all over. Whether they're held up in a little bay on the back of the wind or on the wind.
I don't think so. I think this time of year they're going to be moving about. They're going to be looking for bait, and I think
you are going to say that because you put 20 spoms out.
There wasn't 20. There was about 15.
It was more than that.
But I've lost my train of thought.
Like your count of spoms.
Like my count of spoms. Yeah, I don't know. I think when we started the match, we started it just at the tail end of when they were showing, because when we first got here, there was a lot showing.
Yeah.
And that dwindled just before getting the rods out. Then we got the rods out and it just completely stopped.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the fact that we're actually fishing for them that they've gone and done the off.
Yeah.
I think it's more the fact that it's just the time we put rods out. They went out about 12 o'clock. So I'd like to think that tomorrow morning.
That's what that was a long-winded way of saying we're holding out till morning bite time.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully something happens tonight. We've still got, an hour before it's actually dark. Yeah.
And I'm still sitting on just what I've cast out. There's no extra bait out there.
Other than that solid bag you baited up.
Yeah, you keep referencing that. Like, it's not got you anywhere.
It hasn't, no. Or you, for baiting up a bit. Yeah, I mean, what is your plan? Like, I'm
put a coat on at the moment. I'm getting chilly.
I'm quite happy with my rods with, sitting over bait. But are you going to change anything?
I think I will redo them before it gets dark, and I'll probably put 5 spods over the top. An actual 5 spods, not a U5 spods, which would be 15.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to put too much out. It is that time where it's changing to quite cold nights. Having said that, it's meant to stay fairly
It's
warm
like 13,
tonight.
14 degrees all night,
But
isn't it?
the last few
So-
weeks, we've been getting really misty, cold mornings.
Yeah,
so
been
the
into
weather has
single
changed
figures.
slightly. So I
Yeah.
do think that that's going to be something to bear in mind.
So I've been thinking, Joe,
What's that?
you know what this video is lacking?
No, I think you've pretty much got everything you need in this
No,
video.
it's definitely lacking something.
Pricing on all this stuff.
Exactly. So we are going to go through the Blackfire range, as we said yesterday, and tell you the prices. So do you want to start your end?
Yeah, well, as things are pretty quiet on the fishing front, I thought we'd take this little opportunity to talk about the pricing. And I've been using the C series stove, which is the basically more stripped back version of the two stoves we've got with us today. Comes in at £35, and the smaller of the two kettles, which would do most of you absolutely fine, and it does easily
two cups
in it as
Yeah.
well. So that one also comes in at £35, and these mugs, which we've filled with tea for this piece, but neither of us are going to be able to drink it for this piece.
As you can see from the steam.
Keep their heat ridiculously long,
Yeah.
and they don't get hot on the outside, so clearly the thermal properties, there must be some kind of air pocket in between the two layers, because they just stay hot for ages and you can't drink it for quite a long time. So if you like a really piping hot drink for a good hour, then these are good mugs for you. They come in,
Definitely
like I said,
plan ahead.
yeah, they're 20 quid a pop for those mugs as well.
Yeah, they are. And something we have noticed as well is I don't like metal mugs, usually. I'd normally go for a ceramic mug all day, every day, but they're actually all right. They taste quite nice from it. You don't get that weird metally taste that you do with some kind of thermal flasks and that sort of thing. So yeah, little side note on them. Don't be put off because they are metal.
Yeah.
Now, moving on to the bits that I've got here, I've got the dining set, and this comes in at just under 30 quid. And like I said yesterday, you get the plate, it's a 4-piece cutlery set, and then you do get the nice little bag to keep it all in as well. You've then got the larger of the two kettles, and that comes in at £40. And then the stove I've been using is the Inspire stove, which comes in at £50. Now, there is a bit of a difference between them. You've got slightly different kind of
Size to
power
start with.
ratings. Yeah, size as well.
This one packs out proper small, so if you want to go with a much smaller cooking setup, if I took it off the stove, that curls up into a little bag, really small like so.
Exactly, so it is tiny. This one, obviously, where you've got the windproof guard, yeah, I guess, it keeps it a little bit bigger, but then them legs fold in, and then it still does pack down fairly small. And then the other bonus you got on this is the little igniter as well. Aside from that, there's not a massive difference. The power rating is slightly higher on this, so I think it's about 200 or 300 watts more powerful. But overall, they've both done what we needed them to do. We've both cooked on them, haven't we? And
I've actually used the larger kettle on the smaller stove, and it cooks in no time, because they've got the kettles have these, what we'd call them, heat baffles or something, that kind of,
yeah, it's
I think that's some
special heating technology, isn't it?
probably some scientific reason that they help trap the heat in there and warm up the water, but they've boiled really quickly on
they
both
do.
stoves as well.
Yeah, so
And they
that
just look good.
that is the Blackfire range. There are a few more bits in the range. I think you can get pots and pans and bits like that, but this is all the bits that we've got with us this time. So yeah, I think now we've covered that, the video's not lacking anything.
Really hot still.
Yeah, I got that from the steam. Yeah. Do you think the video's lacking anything else, or are we pretty much
No,
covered here?
I think we've got everything that anyone wants out of a fishing video.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, cool.
Let's just relax for the rest of the morning.
Yeah, we've got a few hours left, haven't we?
Yeah.
Enjoy the sun. Well, things were looking very, very, very bleak, and we genuinely didn't think anything was going to happen. And then just out of nowhere, as we were starting
Don't
to...
wipe me out.
Huh?
You're about to wipe me out.
I know, well, it's going some. Yeah, we were just having a bit of a slow pack up, just tidying a few bits away, and the middle rod just let out a single beep. Thought it was a bird or a liner or something, and then yeah, just started pinging out some line. So the way the session's gone, I'm still thinking it's probably a bird. It's probably a grebe or something like that, or no, more like a swan. But yeah, we've got a bite, and I haven't seen much else, to be honest, come out. So
just to say how bleak the session's been, I'm actually excited to see a carp, even though it's in your
even
hands.
though it could end up being the pivotal moment of the match. It's, yeah, very, very unexpected.
You wiping me out?
Hang on, no, is it?
You've wiped me out. You've completely wiped me out. I told you, he's sabotaged me.
I can't hear you from there.
Oh. You're an absolute bellend. All part of your plan, wasn't it?
Not at all. My plan was to try and catch something.
And then scupper me trying to catch you back up.
I'm sure you can put a solid bag back out. I think I'm off your line, if that helps.
Oh, cheers. Yeah.
That's all right.
I'm also off my spot.
Come on. It's not a blank. It is not a blank. Come on. That's a nice one. Got to be an upper double, I reckon.
Excuse me while I go and sort out my wiped out rod.
Well, there we go. A little bar of gold, just over 16 pound, 1 ounce over. And I think he might be enough to seal the deal on this versus match. But I think he's very much a relief for me and Joe, even though it might be at Joe's demise, because it's been a very, very tough session. So to get a last minute bite is very, very welcome. Yeah, really happy with this one. Slipping back. I'm not going to put the rod back out because I'm fishing all three on one spot. So I can't see the point in trying to put the middle rod out and faffing about. So still 2 rods fishing on that same spot. I don't think I'm going to gain anything by attempting to get out. So getting back, slow pack up and soak up the victory. Sorry, Joe.
There's still a couple hours.
There's still time. There is still time. Awesome. Oh, it's all right, Joe. You've been sat there for quite a while.
Yeah, I thought I'd try staring at them.
How's that? I mean, it's been 4 hours.
Yeah.
Since I had that fish.
Yeah, nothing's happened.
No, no, okay. Well, that's it then. I am the winner. I feel like it's a very shallow victory. Whenever I win these things, they feel like shallow victories. It's always like one fish and then I win it.
Yeah. To be fair, the Toddler Manor one, we both caught a lot and you beat me right at the end. This one was just a bite has won it.
A bite. And then we done the cricket fishing before, which was a
bite won it.
So it's very shallow victories, but
victories
I'll take it. I will take it. And it was a nice little common. I feel like we worked hard for it though.
Very. Yeah, I've got to say, there's a few times in this session I was feeling rather despondent, and still am, to be honest. They're still out, but I've not even had so much as a liner to give me indication that the fish.
You had one bite last night about 9 o'clock because you came running over.
I did. I was very excited about the one beep.
Yeah.
Other than that, nothing. The fish haven't been rolling today. Unlike yesterday, they were pretty clear where they are. Today, they've just been nothing. I think I count on one hand how many shows there's been, and they've been much further the other side of the lake.
They have been.
And yours there was no build up to your bite. It was just out of the blue, one little bite. So
yeah, that's it.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you very much. And I do appreciate the glasses coming. That was a very nice touch.
They didn't help me.
They didn't help at all, did they?
Left them in the bag.
Yeah,
but I can understand that they look awful, whereas you're just.
They're slightly different. The ones you got were slightly different to these.
Only slightly. They're green.
Anyway, let's wrap this up. If you like some of the ranges that you've seen in this video, the Blackfire range of cookware, like I said earlier, head over to the Prologic website where you can find a bit more info and a few more products within that range as well, because it's nice, isn't it? It's a nice bit of kit.
Keeping hold of the mug.
If what?
I'm keeping hold of the mug.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's damaged goods now.
Keeping the stove, the mug and the kettle in my bag. It's about time I had an overhaul and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it is very nice stuff, and yeah, I'd be keen to have the pots and pans set to match it all as well. But like I said, head over to Prologic website. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. even if it has been a little bit sparse in terms of fish action.
I've had a thoroughly good time.
That's just the company. We'll see you in the next video. Maybe this deserves a rematch as well, because it was, like I said, a very shallow win.
It was.
But still win.
I'm staying here for a little bit longer.
Yeah, 4.5 hours. 5?